Grace and peace. Whew. Family, have you taken in the bombardment, the gargantuan load of life information coming your way? Attached with it is a whole heap of confusion. And no, this is not that video for me. I'm going to be telling you that this is how it goes. Man, this is some unprecedented things, I must say. But let's see what we can see. All right. Are you watching me as I watch you, watching me, watch you, watch me? And I'm not trying to be funny. We're in 2020, or more correctly, we're in the year 6220 from creation. You know the whole play the fool to catch wise thing? Yeah. No lie, for me, I'm not talking about conspiracies or real or not, but watching who's watching what's watching and what's watching is going on is great. We're all human beings here. And in a sense, we all have a certain condition that's dealing with sin and righteousness. We all have the knowledge of good and evil. You forgot about that, right? I bet you forgot about that. Yeah, you did. Yeah, man. You know how it go. Don't make it think that internet has to show you these things. I understand. So how do you move through these times, right? Well, it's a very, very sensitive thing, and it can only be the normal rules that apply to all generations. Fear Jah and keep his commandments. And you might say, well, that's cool, because you know what? We're all in a so-called quarantine, and guess what? This message I know can hit different people different ways. So I don't want people hit me up in the comment section talking about, well, you're this position and that position. I am generalizing, but not generalizing in a negative way. So you got a lot of information. How do you know what to believe? How do I know what to believe? For real. You get it from internet. The almighty internet. The World Wide Web comes back again. Well, for believers, definitely move smooth. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's. But also know this. If it was Jah dropping things upon people, then I'll go talk about that. Some people will, but some people won't, and who am I to say what is really going on if it's Jah doing this and that? But if you read Jehoshaphat, and I shouldn't say that, if you read 2 Chronicles chapter 20 about Jehoshaphat, and actually, I will say this, 2 Chronicles chapter 17 through 20, you get an understanding that how this hierarchy of this existing generation works. I'm no prophet. And one thing I can say is that through studies and definitely revelations from my uncle David Ray, and you should be kind of privy to it too, that the end is not yet. There's a beginning of the end. And the end has its time period. And it's like the end has its last chapter, right? So if there was the last chapter to the ending, once you open up the beginning of the chapter, it doesn't mean that it's done there. There's a chapter to read. So then you have this whole other vibe coming at you. And I'm telling you, I'm watching things too, as you're watching me watch things, and we're all watching things and watching ourselves. But here's the big thing. Watch yourself how you're watching things. Yeah. Watch your interests. There was a pretty good video that came out. I didn't even watch the whole of it, but it was about Denzel Washington, and he was talking about the social media, and it was old. And we want to be first, brethren and sisters. And sometimes when you want to be first without being truthful and right, that's a heavy thing. Like, check out your own self. We're so quick to share certain things without actually sitting down upon it for at least an hour, much less 5 minutes, right? For tech stock wagwan. And some of us do better than others, and nobody has to kind of comment to me like, I do that too. I actually want us to say that, this is big things. So I'm not looking, I'm looking out, touch base with me, looking for that. But at the same time, I'm not looking for each of us to tap ourselves on the shoulder. Yeah, we have that. Self has to come out a little bit, even though self has to project itself of what it knows. So what am I rambling about and ending it off with, because I want to get it off at the 7-minute mark? Check out what you are dealing with. This is Thursday night. What would you normally be doing, and what has changed really? And has the change affected your spirituality? Has it affected your mentality and your outlook on life? You got to do those things. But let me tell you this, and here's where I'm getting to, and I'll finish it off with this. Read the parable of the wise man who built his foundation upon a rock. Because this is what it comes down to. A foolish man built his foundation on sand. And when the winds and the storm and all the calamities and everything that came in, all the hardships and all the confusions, and like you and I, we don't know what's going on, came. But we went on the foundation of faith and truth in the Messiah, because we didn't want to read, we didn't want to believe, and we didn't want to actually study. Reading is only hearing. Studying leads to doing. So that's what I'm saying. Peace up. My word here, and of course, it's not the end all be all. I want to talk a lot, but I do respect all the I them, and I want you to see how you are in response to this. Don't watch everybody else. Watch your own interests and see what's going on. Check yourself if you've actually really read an hour of the scriptures without distraction. Check it. That's all I'm saying. One love.